If you were to ask people what is the one thing they really want in life, what would you think they would say? The common response would be money, fame, or even a new car. Of all the material things a person can want in life, a solid relationship is what people yearn for. Whether it be with one individual or a group of friends, people just want to be included. There's a good chance that many college students may find themselves with someone they think is their soulmate or true love, only to find the relationship ending shortly after it began. Sometimes people can rush into relationships without having the slightest clue about them. Mark L. Knapp, an astounding researcher in the field of interpersonal communication, discusses in his 1984 publication, Interpersonal Communication in Human Relationships, that a relationship development can be divided into several stages among two major phases: coming together and coming apart. Over the years, I've had my share of short-lived flings, like many people have. At the current moment, I've been involved in a serious relationship that has been official for a little over 3 years. Of course, everybody knows something isn't official until it's all over Facebook. But my relationship has been official for 3 years. It started some time before. My relationship successes and failures have caused me to take a look into what happens as relationships develop. With my current relationship spanning a little over 3 years, I would consider it to be progressing and working through the proper stages of relationship development. Relationships must go through several stages in order to develop properly and can produce many life-enhancing benefits. In the time we have together, I would like to discuss a brief version of Mark Knapp's stages of relationship development and some benefits that relationships can produce. First off, I would like to discuss how relationships come together. The coming together phase includes initiation, growth, and bonding. The first stage in the coming together phase is initiation. Initiation is the foundation of relationship development. This stage is all about first impressions. Without a successful first impression, many relationships do not progress. Initiation can be seen as a turning point in a relationship because, if successful, the relationship will advance to the next level. People observe and construct their first impression of the other by the most visible and obvious aspects of the other's physical characteristics and personality. The initiation stage can be as short as 10 seconds. First impressions are crucial and you only get one chance. Simple behaviors such as eye contact and smiling can help you give off a very good first impression. Communication during the initiation stage is typically routine. Throughout initiation, it's common to stick to safe and superficial topics in order to present a public self to the other individual. When it came time for me to meet my girlfriend face-to-face for the first time, I tried to present myself in a mature manner, and we started off with a simple hello, like many relationships do. After the initiation stage, the relationship begins to grow. Most relationships only begin to grow if the first meeting goes well. Individuals may use small talk to learn more about each other and gather a sense of whether or not the relationship has a chance of continuing. By this time, communication often becomes easier and people get to have more conversations. I personally recall some late night phone calls that didn't consist of anything too extravagant, but hey, things only got better from there. As relationships continue to develop, they begin to intensify. This is the time when people start getting to know each other better. The two individuals begin to get more serious and express their feelings for each other. As the relationship progresses, the individuals begin to spend more and more time together. In my relationship, for example, we spent almost an entire summer together before we even started dating, and we were getting to know each other fairly well. If a relationship is on the right track, the individuals would eventually transition from the term like to love. This can be seen as a major turning point in the development of a romantic relationship. I remember this being a fairly awkward moment at 2 in the morning. Over time, the two individuals' lives, as well as each other, become more intertwined. Eventually, the two people begin to think more in terms of we than I. They begin to share property, friendships, and the majority of their free time. When relationships get more serious, the two partners begin to turn to each other for confirmation and acceptance. The communication is highly personalized, and the two can talk about anything and everything. They both develop a commitment to the relationship and might even be formalized. The couple is able to communicate with fewer words and being able to pick up on each other's nonverbal cues. Eventually they begin to share a great deal of physical contact. The last stage in the coming together phase is bonding. Few relationships make it to the final coming together stage. This is when the togetherness becomes official by some form of declaration. The declaration states the couple's commitment to each other. Marriage seems to be the icing on the cake when it comes to a successful relationship. I am constantly getting nagged and questioned about when I'm getting married. Now, I plan on getting married someday, I just don't know when. I'm really in no hurry and have other parts of my life I'd like to get in order prior to planning a wedding. Relationships continue to grow even after the start of a marriage. The longer the partners know each other before the marriage, the more likely they are to be satisfied within the marriage. Marriage itself goes through stages as it develops. The stages of marriage include romantic love, reality, transformation, and mature love. These stages of a marriage impact a couple throughout their lives together. Love never goes away in a marriage. It may just be difficult to decipher which stage it is in. Marriage gives a couple the comfort of knowing they will be together forever and always have each other for support. Gary Chapman, the author of the best-selling 5 Love Languages series, states in The Secret to Love That Lasts, published in 2010, that love is a choice. Love cannot erase the past, but can change the future. So no matter what may have happened before the marriage, love will only make things better. Studies have found that marriage can have positive effects on one's health. The article, Why is Love Good for Your Health?, published in Health magazine, states that married people live longer than those who are unwed. According to the same article, marriage appears to lower a person's risk of serious disease. As we have just discussed, the stages of the coming together phase include initiation, growth, and bonding. Now that we have discussed how relationships come together, let's take a look at what happens when relationships are not maintained properly. Next, we will describe the 5 stages involved with relationships coming apart. Knapp's relationship model ends with the 5 coming apart stages: differentiating, circumscribing, stagnating, avoiding, and terminating. The first stage of coming apart is differentiating. The individuals regress to emphasis on I rather than we and begin to spend more and more time apart. The emergence of this stage usually signals that there are problems in the relationship that should be addressed before they ruin the relationship. The second stage of coming apart is circumscribing. During this stage, communication begins to weaken as the couple merely tries to preserve its bond on the surface. The couple avoids sensitive subjects completely in order to preserve what bond they have left. Stagnating is the third step of coming apart. At this point, the couple is simply just going through the motions. The couple is doing what has become usual and expected of them, yet they have diminishing interest, enthusiasm, and joy. As the coming apart phase gets to the avoiding stage, things may be heading south. When the relationship gets to this point, individuals make efforts to establish distance from each other as much as possible. Distance from each other is used as a way to avoid unpleasant interactions that are not absolutely necessary. Terminating is the final stage of coming apart. In this stage, the couple declares their desire to go separate ways from each other. In some cases, the couple may even discuss what reasons they believe led the relationship to this point. It may end on good or bad terms, depending on how well they get along at the end. In the last few moments, we have discovered the 5 stages that result when a relationship are not retained properly. These stages are differentiating, circumscribing, stagnating, avoiding, and terminating. Now that we have learned how relationships come together and how they can come apart, I would like to discuss my final point, some benefits of developing and maintaining relationships. Several benefits can arise from relationships. Relationships make life meaningful, whether they're good or bad. People who develop interpersonal relationships with almost everyone they meet are more likely to have success in their life than those who don't develop relationships. The most cherished value within a relationship is trust. As a relationship progresses, the level of trust increases. Long-term relationships are based on trust. Acceptance comes from trust. Once we establish trust with each other, we can be more honest with our weaknesses and shortcomings. As a relationship develops, people start to accept each other for who they are. Support is vital to a relationship surviving. Life can be rough, and sometimes we experience difficult times. Good, healthy relationships give us support and encouragement we need to get past the challenges of life. Personally, I consider support to be one of the best qualities in my relationship. Being a non-traditional student and getting back into the swing of things has at times been a bit stressful. Knowing that I have someone at home that supports me makes me feel a whole lot better. Successful relationships will provide happiness and satisfaction. Being involved with someone you like or love will create happy situations. When you are happy, you will have an overall feeling of satisfaction in your life. Good relationships reduce the anxieties that cause stress and create a sense of well-being and emotional security. According to the article in Psychology Today entitled The Power of Love by Ellen McGrath, published on December 1st, 2002, love is the best antidepressant there is because a common source of depression is feeling unloved. Now, my relationship may not be perfect by some standards, but overall I'd say it's made me pretty happy so far and helped me enjoy life. My last topic, we learned some positive effects of relationship development such as trust, support, and overall good health. Now that we have learned how relationships develop and some amazing benefits they can produce, let's review. In this speech I have discussed the vital stages of relationship development and several benefits that come from relationships. No two relationships are identical. They all progress at their own pace and may take more time in certain stages than in others. So if you find yourself in a relationship you think is stuck in a rut, just remember that relationships take time and you just need to be patient and give them time to develop properly.